So welcome to the Reidel Law Firm Odyssey channel. I'm sitting with David Lee of NetShares and also Hamdan Barbecue and also LA Crawfish. David is a bit of a renaissance man. He's a franchisee. He's a franchisor. You are a licensed SEC broker-dealer, and you've run other businesses. He's done all sorts of stuff. I'm sure we could talk quite a bit about your credentials. But he's joining us here today just to chat about, from his perspective and his expertise, about the benefits of franchising, why he's involved in the industry, and his perspective, on both sides, and what the benefits are to franchisors. So, David, I know you have a couple themes for us in regards to the benefits of franchising, so I'll let you take it away.
Okay. Well, thank you for having me, first of all. I've known Skyler for, I'd say about 5 years, and he's represented us in many different capacities, and, he's been a great attorney to work with, and so I'm really appreciative of this partnership that we have.
We work together on a lot of things, so if you end up a client of Reidel Law Firm, you'll see David at events and such, and vice versa, I'm sure.
Right.
So
I'd say, as far as the benefits of franchising, obviously, the one that sticks out, the most is just being able to grow and scale your business efficiently and with lower risk, right? And so, like, when you're franchising your business, you're essentially selling somebody a license to open a franchise, right? And the beauty of it is, the franchisee is putting up the money to expand and grow the brand. And so from a franchisor perspective, it's a lot less risk, to grow and scale. And so, that allows the brand to grow faster, right?
Absolutely. It makes capital acquisition, whichever method you're going through, makes it a lot easier for the franchisor. It widens the door to a lot of different folks who may be interested in helping you and joining your team. And in regards to, just a quick aside, in regards to capital acquisition, I know NetShares does that for franchisors, right? So if you're potentially a franchisor, now there is startup costs, obviously, and sometimes they can be high depending on where you're at in your systems, creation and whatnot. But NetShares, you help franchisors in acquiring capital or finding the right capital partner to help them expand with franchising, right?
Yes, that's correct. So last year we started an SEC registered broker-dealer. Gotcha. And through our broker-dealer, we can help entrepreneurs raise capital so that they can go out and grow their businesses. They can start a business, they can grow an existing business, or we can help them find the capital to even acquire other businesses. And it's not just limited to franchisors, by the way.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So
independent owners.
Yes, we can also raise capital for franchisees and help them scale. There are actually new rules that have come out recently that make it a lot easier for entrepreneurs to raise the capital that they need to grow. And one that comes to mind is regulation crowdfunding.
Yeah.
Also known as Reg CF, which allows an individual or a business to be able to raise up to $5 million from the general public, from both accredited and non-accredited investors. And they can also publicly advertise their investment opportunity on social media, like Instagram and Facebook, and they could have these ad campaigns that go out and say, invest in this next hot franchise, and we could put a link there for
be an owner,
right?
With your favorite shop, your favorite sandwich shop, or whatever. Right?
That's right.
Excellent.
And from a franchisor perspective, the beauty of that is, instead of going out and selling franchises for $400,000 a pop, you can go out and sell the investment on behalf of the franchisee, who's going to go out and open more units, and people can invest as little as $500 to invest in these businesses.
And that's bringing the brand to the world.
That's right.
In an amazing way. So you mentioned at the beginning there, so access to capital. The second one I heard there was lower risk. And that's absolutely true. So with Reidel Law Firm, we help franchisors manage their risk and help customize their system and help get their system in line, right? Keep it top of the line and ship shape to go out there. Now, can you share a little bit about your experience as both a franchisor or a franchisee in regards to risk? What are some of the risks that you see potential franchisor facing, or a system in general facing, that can that should or can be addressed, early on?
Mm-hmm.
Would that be maybe things like legalese, right? Your contracts, or what about? Have you had issues with dealing with folks who want to damage the brand, maybe from within or without, or things like that? Does anything come to mind? I don't know.
Well, I mean,
Sure
naturally, I'd say one of the most difficult parts about franchising is filtering out, who's going to be a good franchisee and who's not, right? And that's one of the biggest challenges. And so, there's really no perfect formula for that. That is a risk on the part of a franchisor, and we've seen this happen where the franchisor is stuck with a franchisee that's not following the system, they're not following the rules, or they're not well capitalized, right?
Yes.
So,
that's a big one.
yeah,
Right.
and so there could be some issues that come with that, especially as it comes to as it relates to like brand reputation.
Yeah, absolutely.
And things like that. So
And growing the system,
Right.
and all of that can be addressed. Obviously, sooner rather than later. Sometimes that's where I have to step in and help them clean up some messes. But from the beginning, it's always better to address that. And in general, though, franchising is it does help lower your risk as a franchisor and system wide, because you're sharing that burden with both your franchisees, with your franchise system, and that could be everyone from the owner of the franchise. You'll probably have a director of sales, your compliance people, your attorney, your franchise attorney. You have really a whole team that that supports you in that system, and you can really, with a franchise, you can rely on them, right, and lean on them to help you go to the next level. Mm-hmm. So, is there what other? Did you have one more thought? I think.
Yeah, I was just going to say, another great benefit to franchising is, especially nowadays where it's so difficult to find good employees. I saw last month there was, there were millions of people that resigned from their jobs,
Yep.
right? And so, finding employees nowadays is probably as difficult as it's ever been in the history of our business. And so, one of the benefits of franchising is, if you were to try and grow your brand on your own without a franchise system in place, you'd have to go out and find your employees.
Tremendous effort.
Yeah.
Tremendous effort.
Huge. And with that, of course, comes liability too, right?
Yeah.
Your employer liability.
Oh, yeah. And the expenses.
And the expenses.
The taxes.
With the franchise, on the other hand, you're going with franchisees who have a vested interest in the business,
And
right?
shoulder some of the burden.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so they're going to work as hard as possible to make sure that particular unit or that franchise brand is going to, they're going to put their best foot forward.
Absolutely.
And so I'd say that's another great benefit to franchising.
And related, just as a closing comment I would have, is that in regards to the teammates you can bring on and how quickly you can do it, and shouldering the burden among many parties instead of just one, is that through franchising and having a wider spectrum of people involved, parties, right? Franchisees, employees, the franchisor, their employees, service providers, whether it's brokers, whether it's dealers or attorneys. You have a tremendous amount of expertise available to you, and really a wide spectrum of talent that's not available to a lot of independent shops. So absolutely, I think growing your team and having a pool of available experts and a pool of available teammates in that system is tremendous. And in regards to franchise, just one more thing that came up to mind is that once you have franchisees, as you're growing and improving your system, you have an automatic and very usually a very efficient feedback loop, right? The franchisor maybe makes a change, or they have a system that has gaps. Your franchisees are going to tell you about it, right? Your franchisees are going to help you improve that system, and that feedback loop is just automatic. It's running all the time, and it's a beautiful thing, right? It makes you as a whole, as the entire system, become more efficient and effective in your sales and bringing your product and your services to the public.
Yeah.
So these are just some of the benefits. We could talk forever about about franchising, as you can see. But if you want to learn more, check out some links in the description. Of course, you can always go to ReidellLawFirm.com and netshares.com to chat with David. We'll have, of course, the links in the description as well. But thank you. We just want to share a bit about the benefits of franchising. We hope to hear from you soon. Take care.